Hello, this is FHIR Buffer Overflow's final presentation for Health Informatics. My name is Simon Lee. I will be conducting this presentation with Cody Hutchins. We have decided to split up the responsibilities of the presentation by myself doing the slide presentations, and Cody will be doing the narration of the demo at the end of this presentation. So let's get into it. The project overall was for us to use the newly specified bulk data API, the FHIR bulk data API, and use that health data from the bulk exports to generate health needs assessments. The health needs assessments are traditionally done via policymakers who painstakingly curate that data from each hospital systems or health systems in the geographical area that they want to conduct the health needs assessment, and they use that needs assessment to direct governmental resources, health resources to those areas. Traditionally, this process has taken months. By using the bulk data API, we hope to get it closer to real time as possible. Alrighty. So next slide. This is our Gantt chart. This is the same Gantt chart that we've been using for the full semester. Nothing really has changed, except now it shows that deliverable 4 and 5 marked as complete. We are currently in the process of making the presentation slides, but as far as the actual project is concerned, we did manage to get all of the applications up and running and the entire system curating the health data as designed. So I wanted to start off with some of the notes on our innovation. This project was more difficult than or challenging than at first envisioned, and that was really due because of number of firsts. This project was the first to really use the bulk data API. It's a very new specification, and as a matter of fact, there are no real implementations of this spec yet. There are no EHRs in the wild that you can actually go to and try to get bulk downloads of health data with FHIR. So in that, we had to sort of invent our own world. What we ended up doing in order to imagine a world where these bulk data APIs exist is to take the sample implementation test servers from Smart on FHIR, and we had to containerize them and seed them with actual synthetic data from a open source project called Syntheia, and we made 10 instances of this test server, and then we deployed them around the internet so that we will have a imagined world where there are FHIR servers that one can go and get bulk health data from. That was a number of firsts. And once we got into the implementation of the specs, there was another bunch of firsts. We were the first to have to deal with ND-JSON plus FHIR response forms. So it was traditionally FHIR is JSON or XML. This is ND-JSON, which is a new line delimited JSON. So each line of this file that you end up downloading happens to be a FHIR resource in JSON format. There is no standard tooling that can handle that kind of output. At first, we were trying to use FHIR and seeing if that would handle the serialization, deserialization of these bulk exports. They did not. But we still wanted to use FHIR because we wanted to use standard industry tooling to deal with FHIR resources. So we had to invent some custom adapters for handling those responses, and we just lots of challenges just in being the first. Research. our primary touch point for research was, of course, Dr. Bender, and he really pointed us out to different areas of research where it really helped us a lot. So we started out looking at other community health assessments and found out that health assessment really is a collection of statistics. It's lots of numerators, lots of denominators. So knowing that we only had half a semester to conduct this project, we really sort of reached out to Dr. Bender and asked about what's the most important statistics, like what are the most important numerators and denominators, considering we only have half a semester of time constraints. So there was the calculation of child obesity using a growth chart, because child obesity and diabetes were two primary areas of concern that health policy makers would be interested in. So we really sort of decided on trying to focus on that. We also had to worry about authentication, because that's just one of those things people sort of take for granted. But with OAuth 2, there was some challenges via using that kind of authentication mechanism for authorizing with the FHIR servers. So there was a lot of code that had to be written in order for us to be able to handle the token shaking and the token creation, the client assertion creation, and the encryption and all of that. So functionality. So the entire application really is based on 3 or 4 major components. The curation aspects of it, the front end UI, the FHIR server API that is going to be the place where the front end is going to retrieve the metrics from in order to display the health report, and then the let's see, the authentication JWKS providers. So all of those actually did work out fine. So usability, not a whole lot to touch on the usability here. We wanted to keep the single page UI, keep it as simple as possible. We are not building an application for the world. We were building it specifically for a given user. So that was actually rather simple for us. Here's a couple of screenshots for the design, and I believe that Cody is going to get way more into this as he's doing the demo. And I know this says update this link for the demo here, but you will have a actual link to the demo when the PDF gets created. Overall, I think we had a lot of fun making this project. It was a lot of challenging points for us, but I think we were actually quite pleased with the way it turned out. So, well, goodbye.